What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. Well, I think it's safe to say the Golden State Warriors need massive help. They just lost yesterday to a Grizzlies team that didn't have Desmond Bane or John Morant, and things just aren't looking good for the Warriors at this moment. But luckily for them, it seems like there's two teams interested in Andrew Wiggins' services. There could be some moves they could make at the deadline to turn this team around, and I have one idea on top of the at the top of the video, to start things off here. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you are new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciate it. As you guys know, right now we're talking about trade season, talking about everything trades up until the trade deadline. And of course, once trades happen, we will be doing rebuilds on the trades that do happen and all that jazz. So if you want to, stick around for that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But here's the trade that I found on an article. So basically, as we know, Andrew Wiggins' trade value is probably not very good at the moment. It just isn't going to be. Hasn't been the same player that he once was for the Golden State Warriors. Apparently, the Pacers and the Cavs are interested in him, though. So if the Cavs really wanted him, I assume they would be fine with moving Jarrett Allen in this scenario, but they're not going to just swap Jarrett Allen for Wiggins straight up. I don't think that makes a lot of sense for them. So instead, you also throw in Moses Moody and a Golden State unprotected pick in this trade for Jarrett Allen. Would the Cavaliers say yes to this? I have no idea. I know they could be fine moving Evan Mobley down to the 5 because it feels like Jarrett Allen and Mobley have not fit as well as they would have wanted. Mobley's outside shot hasn't gotten much better than, when he first got in the league. So basically, they move on from Jarrett Allen. They could maybe get more than this, but I think this is a decent offer, so we're going to go ahead and send this over. They're going to decline it, but for this first trade, we're going to go ahead and send it through because that is the theme of today's video. Jarrett Allen, can he be the savior of the Golden State Warriors? Get a huge upgrade at that big man spot. And we probably could make even more moves. We don't have to be quite done yet. We still have Chris Paul's contract we could potentially use. Of course, we have Kuminga, who is a trade asset. We don't have many picks left available because we do have a pick locked up to the Blazers right now. So we are going to go ahead, probably similar to the trade deadline, and make another move with Chris Paul potentially. If not, I'll just see you guys at the end of year one. But Jarrett Allen for Wiggins was the first trade I wanted to do. Let me know what you guys feel about that, Warriors fans, and even if you're a Cavs fan watching this as well. Would you do that trade? Again, it's not my trade. I found it on an article online, so don't be too... I was about to take off Chris Paul's injury. I have no idea why. I have no clue why, but whatever. I will go ahead and see you guys. So I guess we start coming at the 3. Steph, Clay, Kuminga, Draymond, Jarrett Allen, Kevon Lane, Darius Saric, Trace Jackson Davis, and Brandon Podziemski. So I'll see you guys at the deadline. Hopefully Chris Paul is healthy by then, and Gary Payton. And then we'll, maybe make another move. If not, again, see you at the end of year one. Of course, today's video is brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is a player props app that's available on mobile or desktop. The way PrizePicks works, it's simply you against the numbers. You don't have to face anybody else. It's you against projections. You choose between 2 to 6 players, 2 players being 3 times their entry, all the way up to 6 players being 25 times their entry. So if you think Jokic is scoring over 26 points tonight, you think Embiid is going to do the same thing to him, then go ahead and click more on those projections if you think those 2 centers are going to show out tonight. And then you could even make this a 6-pick entry by adding more here if you wanted to, all the way up to 25 times your entry. So if you want to sign up for PrizePicks, use code Crushables, match first deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. And the way I use PrizePicks is DJF's correlation optimizer tool. The correlation tool is a ton of fun. I've been using it since August 18th. It is up 742.3 units at the moment. They got a few entries here, obviously, for the NFL divisional games coming up this weekend. And they also have an optimizer tool, which compares discrepancies across multiple sports books. So, for instance, you got Sean Strickland versus, I don't know how to say that name, but basically every single sports book you're seeing is listing this. I guess Fliff isn't, but you got DraftKings, and I believe that's Bovada. I could be wrong. But they got them both listed at 1.5, while PrizePicks has it at 2.5. So basically, you get a discrepancy on PrizePicks according to 2 other sports books. So hit the under on that. So that's how the correlation optimizer tool works. That's how PrizePicks works. If you want to go ahead, check out either one. Both links down in the description below. Let's get back to the rebuild. At the end of year one, Luka Doncic wins MVP. Vic is your rookie of the year. Russell Westbrook, 6th man. Victor Wembanyama, offensive player. And Kobe White, most improved. Stephen Curry, clutch player of the year, because he was pretty clutch down the stretch, because we actually made it in to at least the play-in tournament. Almost just straight out made the playoffs, but it looks like Jarrett Allen did help our season a little bit as we end up as the 8th seed facing the Phoenix Suns in round 1 of the play-in. So, yeah, 30 points from Stephen Curry, 18 from Clay. I did extend Clay Thompson at the extension deadline. He didn't ask for too much money, which is what I think it'll ultimately come down to. If Clay is willing to sign for really cheap, I think the Warriors would be willing to re-sign him. But if he's still going to want like a max contract, then I don't think they can afford to do that, obviously. Kuminga, Pretty solid season. Jarrett Allen, of course, we brought him over. Draymond Green, Saric, Chris Paul, Podziemski. So I think what we'll do is with Chris Paul's contract in the offseason, we'll try to accept it and then probably send him elsewhere in that scenario. But I kept him for now. We'll see if that was the right decision, as we do get eliminated in the first leg of the play-in. But now we get the Jazz. So we get the Utah Jazz, and this is obviously going to be huge here because we want to get in to the actual playoffs. So let's go ahead and see if we can beat the Jazz here to get in, as the Jazz obviously have had an interesting season in their own right. But right now it looks like the Jazz are going to eliminate us. So it looks like Jarrett Allen did not turn our season around whatsoever. 132 to 105, we get eliminated. So we do not make the playoffs, which would just be an ultimate waste of Stephen Curry, of course. So that really sucks. I got the Timberwolves making it all the way to the finals. So I don't know if we would have beat them anyway, as they go on to win the championship. That's the first time I've ever seen the Timberwolves just absolutely dominate. I don't know if 2K updated something, but yeah, that was pretty interesting. I've never seen them just go dominate like that. But hey, shout out to the Timberwolves. You got Haslam retiring, so I want to make sure Chris Paul didn't retire, because obviously we're still going to be playing on Stephen Curry's timeline. The Thunder got the #1 overall pick, but Rockets pick is top 4 protected, so I'll probably fix that. And then our pick is going to the Portland Trailblazers because it's top 14 or top 4 protected. So we don't have our first round pick this offseason, but I guess with that pick conveying, all of our future picks are freed up. So I guess that's nice. So what we'll go ahead and do is fill out the rest of this coaching staff. I mean, you could argue we could fire Steve Kerr because of this result, but his ratings in 2K are pretty good. So I think I'll go ahead and just leave him for now. And then I'm going to fill out the rest of this coaching staff. And then we got to make a trade, man. We got to figure out how we're going to better this roster, because obviously what happened last season is not acceptable. It just isn't. All right, so when it comes to trying to upgrade this roster, I'm clearly looking for a better forward on this team. Right now, we don't really have a small forward whatsoever, but of course, you can move Kuminga around or whatever we want to do. We do have the ability to move things around if need be. So I want to try to make sure I can secure a brand new forward on this roster. So that's going to be the ultimate goal. So obviously, we're not getting into free agency. We don't have money to really sign anybody that good. So we go look at forward options. Let's just go take a look at what our options even are. We'll go with shooting guard, small forward as well. So let's start here. So obviously you have like Paul George, who is a free agent right now. DeJounte Murray, definitely, he's not really a small forward though. So yeah, he would be interesting, but I'm not sure how much I like his fit here. Brandon Ingram, that would be kind of interesting, but I think it'd be really hard to pry him away. Middleton on the Bucks, DeMar DeRozan, I don't really like his fit here either. Derek White, of course, has been amazing in Boston. Mikal Bridges would be, obviously the fit you would love to have if you're the Golden State Warriors. And I do love getting Mikal Bridges because he just fits anywhere, but I feel like I could get him so much that I almost don't want to do it. I've gotten Zach LaVine before when I think the last Warriors rebuild I did, so I don't think I want to go that route. Michael Porter Jr. would almost be a perfect fit. Bodon, but not really what I'm looking for. You have Cam Johnson. Let's go look at the other forward spots. So we got Tatum, of course, we're not going to be able to get. Jaylen Brown, Paulo, Siakam's a free agent, Jaren Jackson. Lauri Markkanen is the most available one I see so far. Randall maybe could be available off the New York Knicks if they felt the need to move off Julius Randle. Randall's not someone I often trade for, but I don't know how much I'd like his fit with Stephen Curry anyway. DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray. Yeah, so it gets kind of interesting after that. So right now I'm kind of leaning towards either Lauri Markkanen or Julius Randle, and obviously Markkanen fits like a glove. So I think I'm going to try to get Lauri Markkanen off the Jazz. I don't know how easy it's going to be to get him. But if we could have a Jarrett Allen, Lauri Markkanen front court with Stephen Curry, I think that would be the most ideal thing to do. So let's see what it would take. So obviously it's going to include probably a bunch of draft picks. Like Danny Ainge isn't going to move Markkanen for nothing. Now he is on expiring contracts that could diminish his value a little bit. I don't know if the Jazz are going to trade him in real life at the deadline or not. That definitely is going to be interesting to see if they do or not. But obviously I could send them Chris Paul, but I don't even know how much they'd value Chris Paul at this point. So let's say, I think they're going to want one of our young players, whether it's Podziemski, Trace Jackson Davis, or Kuminga. I think they're going to want one of them. Trace Jackson Davis is under team control for quite some time. Podziemski, same thing. So they're going to want probably one or the other, I imagine. So if we could keep Podziemski out of the trade talks, that'd be ideal. Let's start with Trace Jackson Davis being in here. Gary Payton could be in here because of his salary. We're going to need a little bit more money in here. And then let's say it's Dean Wade. So that just makes up the salary, of course. They get Gary Payton, Trace Jackson Davis, Dean Wade. And then I think 2 firsts is in order. I really do. I think a 2025 and 2027 is something that would, allow Danny Ainge to be happy with the return, where he gets a young player in Trace Jackson Davis and also 2 first-round picks for marketing. Now, you could argue this could be an overpay, but I do truly believe that Danny Ainge is going to squeeze as much value as possible out of marketing. At this point, we're just trying to go win a championship for Stephen Curry, so I'm okay with offering that. We offer quite a bit. We mortgage the future, but in this scenario, as I mentioned, we're trying to make things work. So I am going to slide Kuminga back to the 3. I think he's going to play the small forward for us, him being 6'7". I know marketing has done that as well. But Draymond Green will come off the bench now, which I think he'll fit a little bit better. And Kevon Looney is still the backup 5. So it does suck to move off Trace Jackson Davis, but it was Sam Podziemski. I was going to try to keep Kuminga out of the talks. And then Chris Paul is going to stay for now, at least. So I guess the only other thing we could do is sign a small forward, and we should be rock solid. So let's go ahead and see if there's anybody here. We can get Simone Fontecchio, which I think we're going to go ahead and offer. I mean, former teammate of Lauri Markkanen anyway in Utah, so we'll go ahead and sign Simone Fontecchio, and that will be our offseason. So Lauri Markkanen is our huge addition, along with obviously Jarrett Allen at the beginning. So this is the way I think you go try to go for it. Chris Paul's down, Klay Thompson's down, like that's to be expected, but Podziemski is up. If that means Draymond, Chris Paul, and Klay are all coming off the bench, then so be it. I think we have to go that direction. That way Markkanen could be that step up. And then Kuminga could be the guy that steps up as well next to Stephen Curry. So that's kind of where we're at, which I think would be ideal if the Warriors could pull this off, of course. Like, there is a lot to still you have to do that. It's not easy to just, get what I've done so far. But, yeah, the Warriors, man, they're in a rough spot at the moment. So proficiency, 4-star perimeter centric. I guess we can just go ahead and leave it there for now and see how the season goes with it. But they do want to start Klay still. Okay, that's fine. I'll go 9-man rotation. I'll shrink the bench utilization down just a little bit. So we'll go Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Kuminga, Markkanen, Jarrett Allen, Draymond Green, Chris Paul, Podziemski, and Kevon Looney. To me, that's a pretty rock solid rotation. I'm feeling pretty solid about it. Podziemski probably would eventually start this season. I wouldn't be too surprised if that is the case. We'll see how things go. If I do stop the deadline to trade Chris Paul or something, I will show you. But Markkanen is going to be the guy that we depend on. So we'll have Steph Curry shot tendency really good. Markkanen, I pushed it up to a 90, and Kuminga's is an 80. Klay Thompson's is down, which is I actually like at this point. And Kuminga, I'll push it up just a little bit as well. So we'll do something like that. I'll see you guys either at the end of year 2 or at the deadline. Just all depends on how the season's going for us. Jokic wins MVP at the end of year 2. Wagner's your rookie of the year on the Washington Wizards. Cameron Thomas, 6th man. Wembanyama, defensive player. Marcus Asher, most improved. Donovan Mitchell, clutch player. Steve Kerr, coach of the year, as we are back on top of the world. 61-21. And then Kenneth Wright, Foreman, is your executive of the year, aka me. Here's your NBA first team: Jokic, Doncic, LeBron, Halliburton, Trae Young. You have Shea, Giannis, AD, John Morant, and Embiid. And here's your all NBA third team, all defensive first team, and all offensive second team. So first in the Western Conference, we obviously wanted to turn things around here, and we've done just that. You had 27 from Steph, 22 from Markkanen, 17 from Kuminga, and then 16 from Klay. 12.5, 10.5 from Jarrett Allen, 9-7 from, or 9-4 from Podziemski. This offseason, I believe, or Jarrett Allen won't be a free agent, but Markkanen will be. So obviously this team is going to, well, it's going to get pretty expensive, but I did extend Chris Paul as well to another year. So yeah, he'll be here probably for one more season unless he decides to retire. We'll see. We get Utah in round 1. Funny enough, obviously we stole Markkanen from them. They have LeBron James in Utah. So we'll see how this decides to go. Somebody current round against them, and we are going to go down 3-2. Wow. Okay. So far, this is obviously not what we want to see. So we got to win 2 straight to get into the second round. LeBron James is coming here to try to haunt the Warriors once again. It's looking like we can maybe win this one and go to a game 7, which is a great sign. So hopefully we take care of business in game 7. We get to round 2, but did not really want to see a sweat in round 1 like this, but here we are. So round 1, I mean, we have the lead right now, and it's looking good. I think we're running away with it. So yeah, okay. So we do get out round 1. It almost looked really bad there for a second, but we get out. And now we get the Portland Trailblazers. So Scoot, Shaden Sharp, Justin Edwards, Jeremy Grant, DeAndre Ayton, Robert Williams, Anthony Simons, Brogdon, and Matisse Thybulle. Going to be a very interesting deadline for this team because there's a bunch of guys the Blazers can get rid of that a bunch of contending teams I feel like would want, whether it's, Jeremy Grant, Thybulle, or Brogdon. Like, I think those guys are going to be pretty interesting to see if they're moved. But game 1 against Portland, 1-0, beat them by 12, 43-9 from Markkanen, 9 of 18 from 3. What a game from him. Game 2, 2-0, so far so good, 124-97, 28 from Markkanen again. He's been amazing. Game 3, they win. Game 4, we win, which is 9 of 22 from Simons, 32 from Steph, 26-19 from Jarrett Allen. And we are going to beat them in 6. No, go to a game 7 with the Portland Trailblazers. Okay, game 7 in San Francisco. So hopefully we can come out here and take care of business at home. Obviously, Portland's got the interesting roster. We are going to be in a very close game down the stretch. We're going to slow this down and see if we can not go home here in game 7, because I think if we, which we're not going to, but yeah, I was going to say, if we don't win right now, I don't know if we're going to be able to win again, because this team is not young at all, and it's only going to keep getting worse. But yeah, the Blazers best us here, so we're going to lose in 7 in the round 2. We got Denver and Portland in the conference finals, and Portland gets eliminated by Denver. You got the Hawks going on in the championship, so we get to go one more season on this bad boy. Chris Paul is trying to retire. I'm going to override that once. I want to see him get a ring, hopefully. I'm going to see if I can get, a championship next season, obviously. I don't think I'll do too much this offseason. I think the only thing we really need to do is obviously, well, we can get Greg Popovich to be our assistant. Give me Jack Vaughn. You want to be our assistant head coach? Sure, why not? Welcome to the team. And then let's get a good permanent defensive coach, and we should be solid. All right, so obviously the goal here is to re-sign Markkanen this offseason. We should have a draft, or do we have a draft pick? We might. I think I skipped 2025, so I think we do have a draft pick. We do not. Never mind. Player options, I think it's 2026 that we have. So Podziemski will accept. I'll accept Santos as well. Qualifying offers, Kuminga, also another huge re-sign. Hopefully he's not asking for too much money. 25 million isn't too crazy. Markkanen, we do have cap space as well, which is nice. So I'm going to go ahead and offer Markkanen a big contract, and he's going to accept it. Chicago's trying to bring him back, but of course we're going to sign Markkanen back. We're not going to renounce Kuminga, though. That does not make any sense to do. So we're going to keep Kuminga around, and basically we'll give him his contract as well. So yeah, this team is looking towards the right direction as far as salary is concerned, which is nice. All right, so let's see. We got oh, did Stephen Curry really retire on us? I did not even see that. Am I just like so stupid I didn't see that at all? He was down the board. Wow. Damn. I did not see that. No wonder why we had so much money. That's insane. Okay. Man. That's crazy. Why wouldn't it be at the top? That's wild. That sucks. Well, I guess it's because it goes by years pro. Did not see that coming. Didn't even think I have to worry about that. I guess we can't get Stephen Curry championship. He said, okay, I'm done. Should just let Chris Paul retire then. I didn't realize Stephen Curry. Whatever. Okay. Well, no Stephen Curry. That's yeah, that's a big blow to our chances. I don't think we're winning a championship in this video anymore. Yeah, that was not that is not what I expected to see. Okay. Well, I think it's safe to say we gotta make a trade for a better point guard, because I don't think I can run it back with Chris Paul as a starting point guard at this point. That would be probably not ideal. So I am gonna go ahead and let's sign Sasha, I guess, to be maybe our backup 4. I don't know. And then I'll see if I can get something. I'll sign Alvarado as well. I'll see if I get something as far as a point guard is concerned. We just need someone. I don't know, man. I don't know if this team has the ability to win anymore. Markkanen and Kuminga, can they lead us to a championship? Maybe, but I don't see it. So I actually just came up with a genius idea. I'm going to go ahead and run it back one more year. I decided to get Stephen Curry back. The way I did that is I imported a player DNA off one of the young players we had that didn't really matter, because that was the point. I was trying to get Stephen Curry a championship one more time. So instead of me having to worry about what I'm going to do now, I should have seen that he was retiring, because I never wanted to do this video without Stephen Curry. I haven't done anything else really, so I think that's basically what we're doing to end out the video. We're bringing Stephen Curry back one more year. I know he just retired, but we're bringing him back still. So I apologize if you don't like that very much, but that was the point of the video. It really was. I wasn't trying to, rebuild the Warriors when Stephen Curry retired. Like, I could do a video on that on its own. I wanted to go ahead and try to get him a championship. So Stephen Curry, Podziemski, Kuminga, Markkanen, Jarrett Allen, Von Looney, Chris Paul, Draymond Green, and Garuba. I'm going to go ahead and give Alvarado these last. Actually, Klay Thompson is even getting these minutes. I'll give it to Klay. All right, so I will go ahead, simulate this season. Hopefully this year with Stephen Curry one last time will result in a championship. We'll go ahead and see what happens. So once again, another pretty good season as Steve Kerr wins Coach of the Year at 56-26. Stephen Curry makes it all NBA first team, which is nice to see. First team in the Western Conference. Here are your player stats. He had 31 from Steph, 22 from Markkanen, 17.5, 13.5, 11, 9, 7, and 6, and then 5. So here goes nothing. Round one against the Grizzlies. John Morant, Bane, Zaire Williams, Jaren Jackson, and Brandon Clark. This is our last chance here, so let's go ahead and see if we can get out of round one. We do just that. Now we get the Pelicans. I have CJ, Herb Jones, Ingram, Zion, Joval. I'm going to come around against them, and we're going to sweep them. So off to a great start. But of course, now we run into the Thunder. Kind of expected to get beat here, so I'm just going to live with the results after I click simulate current round, and we are going to beat them in 5. Okay, wow. Was not expecting that, but now we get the Cavaliers, who have Clint Capella instead of Jarrett Allen now. They have Moses Moody still, so Moses Moody averaging 11 points for them, 12.5 last year in the regular season. I think we can beat this team, though. I really do. I think we win a championship to end the video, and we do. Let's go. That Stephen Curry I downloaded might have been juiced a little bit. I don't know if it would have resulted this way if it wasn't for that, because when I downloaded him, he was like 23 years old, so it was like prime Steph. I did change his age to 38, but I don't know if that meant anything, but whatever. You know what? All that matters is we won a championship. A little unorthodox video, a little weird at the end, but it's okay. Hope you guys enjoyed it regardless. I will see you all in the next one. This is Crushables. I'm saying. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.